As children, we are read stories that are meant to inspire and educate. Most of these stories feature strong male leads, which means young boys don't have an issue finding characters they can be inspired by. Unfortunately, young girls have less options to choose from. That's why two women chose to create a children's book inspired by Detroit's own history, featuring strong women that rose to the challenge and broke with traditional female roles to help save the world. Hi, I'm Des, and today I'm here with Bailey Sissoy Isgro and Nicole LaPointe, the women behind creating Rosie, a Detroit Herstory. So, what was the inspiration behind the story that you wanted to tell in the book?
I think the whole thing started when we came across a statistic that 7.5% of children's books feature a strong female lead. And Nicole and I both love Detroit history, we both love women's history, and we thought there's all these stories and no one's telling them, and then we thought we're people. And she's talented and have free time, so we could try to write one. And Rosie the Riveter came to mind immediately as what a better example for young women and young men than an unbelievable task at a difficult time conquered through teamwork and communication and breaking down gender barriers and racial barriers to work together towards a common goal. And I think it's one that translates to a kid's story in a beautiful way.
So I love the illustration in your book because it's different than you would typically find.
My usual style is like super cartoony, and I'm like, that's not gonna do it for these. And then it just kind of hit me. I'm just like, well, look at kind of like the older style, the non-line art style of like golden books. And I was like, that's a good place to start.
Is the story, you think, heavy for younger readers, or?
Yes, but I think children's books should be heavier. I think kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And so I think it's a book that there are gonna be questions. And we cover the fact that a lot of people died. And that's hard in children's books, but it's also part of the story that things weren't just perfect all the time, that these women had to fight, and sometimes they were fighting with each other. If we tell those stories, then it makes it a little easier when we come up against things in our own lives to not think everybody else has it perfect.
How did you balance the story between your younger readers and the adults?
I think we're both pretty funny, or we think we're funny, maybe that's the problem. We think we're hilarious. We left certain things implied. So a 5-year-old is going to miss certain things. A 12-year-old's gonna get it and maybe have questions. A 20-year-old's gonna laugh. That, I think, was a big part of it, sort of making it work, because one of the things I've realized is how many people don't know certain aspects of history that would be interested if we could give it to them in a really approachable way.
So how do you feel connected to this story?
I don't know, I feel a connection with the Rosies just because they did all the dirty work. Doing all this pictorial research, I'm just like, look at all these women with the just knee deep in grease and all that fun stuff, and I love that.
For me, I'm lucky enough to get to follow in their footsteps in a way. General Motors was a huge part of the war effort, and I've been a General Motors automotive sculptor, and getting to walk on to the design floor and work alongside men and women of every different ethnicity and size and shape. Without the Rosies taking those first steps, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing, and it's a pretty great feeling to get to work on cars every day.
With their Kickstarter far exceeding their set goal, Bailey and Nicole will be creating far more books than they expected for their first run. Rosie, a Detroit Herstory, is scheduled to be released by early October. But what Bailey and Nicole are happiest about is the chance to get to inspire a future generation of women into chasing their dreams. For more information, visit DetroitHerstory.org